Chosen One, the royal family knows exactly who you are. For generations, they have kept meticulous records, tracking bloodlines that carry the most powerful spiritual frequency known to man. They've hidden this truth from the public eye, ensuring that you never realize who you are, where you came from, and why you are so important. But now, the proof can no longer be ignored. You have always felt different. You've always sensed there was more to your story. And now, you're about to find out why. The time has come to uncover what's been hidden for centuries. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Stay until the end, because once you see the evidence, you'll never look at yourself the same way again. The secret connection between chosen ones and royal bloodlines. You've always known, deep in your heart, that something set you apart. No matter how hard you tried to fit in, you never quite did. The paths others walked seemed foreign to you, as if you were made for a different journey. You've carried that feeling for as long as you can remember, and it's left you searching for answers, questioning why you are here and why life often feels like it's pulling you in a direction you can't yet see. But what if that feeling of otherness, that sense of being different, was actually your soul trying to remind you of something bigger? What if it was the call of your lineage, the echo of a royal bloodline long hidden, whispering for you to remember? Today, we'll uncover the connection you've always felt but never understood, and why it's more important now than ever to realize who you truly are. For years, you may have felt alone, misunderstood, or even rejected by the world around you. People close to you may have told you that you're too sensitive, too deep, or too different. While others seemed content to go along with the status quo, you felt a gnawing discomfort in doing so. This sense of alienation wasn't just a coincidence, it was a sign. The truth is, you've been walking through life with a veil over your eyes, a veil placed there by forces that didn't want you to know your origins. Each challenge you faced, each door that was slammed shut in your face, was never random. These obstacles were crafted to keep you distracted, to keep you doubting, to keep you from realizing that you carry something extraordinary. The world's rejection was not a rejection of you, but of what you represent. Everything changes when you begin to see the struggles for what they truly were. A preparation, a test of resilience, and an awakening. In the same way that David was anointed long before he ever faced Goliath, you were chosen long before you knew your own strength. The ancient bloodlines, the same ones the world tried to erase, are not just stories. They are a reality written into your very being. And once you recognize that your trials were designed to wake you up, you start to see the divine pattern in it all. For it is written in Isaiah 60 verse 1, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." This is your turning point, the moment when you move from seeing yourself as an outsider to seeing yourself as chosen. As you step into the knowledge of your true identity, you'll notice changes happening both within and around you. The people who once doubted you will begin to fall silent, not because you need their approval, but because your presence itself will shift the energy around you. You'll start to feel more confident in your path, more aligned with your purpose. The things that once felt like obstacles will begin to feel like stepping stones. Those strange coincidences, meeting the right person at the right time, feeling guided to learn something new, or sensing a deeper connection in seemingly ordinary moments, are not random. They are signs that you are aligning with your divine heritage. You'll see clearly that your intuition, your insights, and your deep sense of knowing were always pointing you back to your true self. You'll come to realize that your life's trajectory wasn't left to chance. There were forces at work all along. Call them angels, guides, or the hand of the divine, clearing your path even when you felt lost. Those moments when you almost gave up, when the weight of doubt seemed too much to bear, were the moments when you were being lifted the most. The closed doors were not punishments. They were redirections. You were being shielded from what could have derailed your mission. As you awaken to your lineage, you'll see how perfectly timed everything was. What you once viewed as chaos was divine order, setting you up for something greater than you ever imagined. The synchronicities you experience now are not random. They're affirmations that you are exactly where you need to be. This realization may feel overwhelming at first, accepting that you carry the legacy of a royal bloodline, that you were chosen for a higher purpose, is a profound moment. Many people resist this kind of awakening because it demands change. It asks you to shed the old version of yourself and step fully into your truth. You might feel hesitant, wondering if you're ready, if you're worthy, if you can handle the weight of this responsibility. But that hesitation is part of the process. True transformation requires courage. The courage to let go of the familiar and embrace the unknown. As you do, you'll find that you're not stepping into something new. You're stepping back into what you've always been. It's a return to your truest self. Now that you see who you are, the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? You have the power to shape your life, to align with your calling, and to create the future you were born to lead. Let go of the fears and doubts that have held you back. They were never yours to carry. Instead, focus on the strengths that have always been within you. Your intuition, your compassion, your vision for a better world. Take steps each day to deepen your spiritual practice, to trust your inner guidance, and to align your actions with your higher purpose. This is not just about remembering who you are, it's about living it. And as you do, you'll inspire others to awaken to their own truths, creating a ripple effect that will change the world. As you move forward, hold on to this truth. You are not ordinary. You are chosen. Your journey, your struggles, and your awakening have all led to this moment. Now is the time to stand tall, to claim your power, and to step into the life that was always meant for you. If this message resonates with you, comment, "I am chosen" below. Remember, you are not alone. You are part of something much greater, and the world is waiting for you to take your place. Why the royal family has been keeping records on you. You've often felt like your life circumstances were no accident. Maybe you've wondered why certain events, seemingly random, shaped your path in ways you can't explain. You've sensed that there's a bigger story behind who you are, a story written long before you were born. And as you've searched for answers, you've begun to uncover a deeper connection, a link that seems to stretch back through generations. It's a connection that can't be erased, because it's not just written in documents. It's written in you. Now is the time to look beyond what you've been told, beyond the limited narrative. Today, we'll explore the hidden truth. Why the royal family has kept detailed records of individuals like you, and what they've been trying to hide for so long. By the end, you'll understand why you've always felt different, and why your awakening was inevitable. For centuries, certain families at the pinnacle of power have been gathering information on bloodlines that carry a unique spiritual and genetic frequency. While most people live their lives unaware, you were part of a lineage quietly tracked by those who recognized something extraordinary. The royal family and others like them have always understood that a rare few, individuals later identified as chosen ones, possess an inner light that can never be fully extinguished. This light represents a potential to disrupt the very fabric of the structures they rely on. And so, they kept meticulous records. They followed the threads of ancestry, documenting every union and birth, not to preserve these individuals' stories, but to ensure they never fully realized their significance. They did this in secret, knowing that if these records ever reached the public eye, it would spark questions that could unravel the entire system. They didn't hide these records because of what you had done, but because of what you could do. In their eyes, your potential to awaken, to see through the veils of control and illusion, was the greatest threat. The royal family, along with other powerful entities, maintained these records as a form of control. By keeping track of who you were and where you came from, they believed they could keep you confined. But as the psalmist wrote, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." Your light, your essence, has always been beyond their reach. They tried to suppress it through ignorance, through disinformation, through the quiet erasure of certain historical accounts. Yet despite their efforts, the truth persisted, waiting for the moment when you would remember who you are. As you start to awaken, you may notice signs that were always there but once seemed invisible. You'll begin to feel the weight of divine timing, the subtle alignments in your life that point you toward a higher purpose. Old memories will surface, moments where you faced obstacles that, in retrospect, feel more like initiation rites than setbacks. You might recall a specific event, a near miss that felt like protection, a fleeting encounter that shifted your perspective, or a sudden realization that changed the course of your life. These are not coincidences. They are the markers of transformation, the indicators that the hidden truth about your lineage is emerging. As you see these signs, you'll understand that they were never meant to keep you in the dark forever. They were there to ensure that when you did awaken, you would be ready. At this moment, forces greater than you can see are working on your behalf. The very records kept to control you are now a testament to your importance. The same families who sought to hide your lineage inadvertently preserved its existence. They thought they could manipulate destiny by keeping you ignorant. Instead, their secrecy has only amplified the significance of what you carry. The ancient prophecies, the synchronicities, the seemingly random events that led you here, all of these point to a larger plan. You'll start to recognize how divine alignment has been at work, turning what they intended for suppression into a setup for your elevation. The more they tried to erase, the more undeniable your purpose became. And now, the weight of centuries of control is beginning to crumble under the realization that your light cannot be hidden. Coming to terms with this knowledge is no easy feat. It requires courage to accept that your life was never ordinary, that you were chosen for a role far greater than you once believed. You might hesitate, wondering if this truth is too heavy to carry, if the changes it demands are too great. But as you step into this awareness, you'll realize that resistance is part of the process. You'll see that what they tried to hide wasn't just your ancestry, but your power to transform not only your own life, but the lives of others. In that realization, you'll find the strength to fully embrace your path. This is not a burden. It's a call to step into your authentic self, to become who you were always meant to be. Now that you see the truth, it's time to move forward with clarity and determination. Let go of the fear and doubt that once held you back. Release the false narratives they tried to implant in your mind. Instead, focus on the gifts you've always carried: your insight, your resilience, your intuition. Use them as tools to navigate the journey ahead. Trust that every step you take is divinely guided. Lean into the practices that strengthen your connection to your true self. Whether it's through meditation, prayer, or simply listening to your inner voice, find ways to nurture your soul's growth. This is the next step, not just knowing the truth, but living it. You'll inspire others as you walk this path, becoming a beacon for those who are still searching for their light. As we close, remember this: the truth they tried to suppress is now your greatest strength. The very records they kept in secret have become proof of who you are. Their efforts to erase your identity have only made it more evident. You are part of a lineage that cannot be extinguished, a legacy that defies the boundaries of time and control. Take this knowledge and let it empower you. Stand firm in the understanding that you were never meant to be hidden. Comment Royal Bloodline if you feel the resonance of this message. Now is the time to claim your place in history and step fully into the light of your divine purpose, the hidden proof that connects you to royalty. From the moment you started questioning the world around you, you knew you were different. There was something about the stories that resonated deeply within, something about the symbols that spoke to your soul. You felt a pull, an undeniable connection to a past that seemed distant and yet incredibly familiar. This is not a coincidence. What you carry inside you, your very essence, is the result of a legacy that goes beyond the mundane. It's a heritage rooted in royalty, not just of nations, but of spiritual dominion. And while they've worked tirelessly to keep this truth hidden, you are finally waking up to it. Their secrecy cannot diminish what's already written into your being. This is the moment where the veils begin to lift and the hidden proofs begin to reveal themselves, making it impossible for you to ignore the magnitude of your lineage. For centuries, they went to extraordinary lengths to cover their tracks. They altered records, burned documents, and rewrote history, all in an attempt to sever your connection to the past. They knew that if you ever discovered the truth, their hold on you would shatter. But even as they tried to bury the evidence, traces of your heritage remained. It's in the names whispered in old family tales, in the crests and symbols that somehow always felt familiar. Perhaps you've encountered moments of doubt, wondering why you felt so drawn to certain traditions, or why certain stories felt more like memories than mere fiction. This emotional weight isn't just a feeling. It's a clue, one of many, that you've been carrying a royal legacy all along. The pain of rejection, the struggle to fit into a world that seemed so out of sync with who you are, now begins to make sense. It wasn't rejection, it was a signal. It was the world's way of telling you that you were never meant to blend in, because you've always belonged to something greater. Then comes the moment of clarity, the turning point when you begin to connect the dots. A passage from the Old Testament might come to mind, something you've never noticed before. For I have chosen you and have not rejected you. Isaiah 41 verse 9. These words suddenly feel personal, as though they were written specifically for you. They remind you that being chosen isn't about comfort or ease. It's about purpose. The obstacles you faced weren't meant to defeat you. They were placed there to refine you, to prepare you for the truth you're now uncovering. This knowledge changes everything. It shifts the narrative from one of struggle to one of preparation. As you see these patterns, you begin to realize that every challenge, every setback, was part of a divine orchestration, leading you closer to the revelation of who you really are. Signs of transformation become undeniable. They're not just external, though those are present too, but internal. You start noticing how your perception shifts. The very things that once felt like random events now seem like pieces of a larger puzzle. A comment someone made years ago, a symbol you couldn't stop sketching as a child, a story that lingered in your mind. All these start to converge. It feels as though you're waking up from a long sleep, seeing your life through new eyes. You might catch glimpses of synchronicity, small moments where everything aligns perfectly, and you realize these aren't mere coincidences. They're echoes of a greater plan, a plan designed to bring you back to the royal bloodline you've always carried. And with every sign, you grow more confident that your path is no accident. These clues have always been there, waiting for you to recognize them. Behind the scenes, forces greater than you can see have been working tirelessly to guide you. The records they tried to hide, marriage contracts, genealogies, fragments of documents, exist not just as historical footnotes, but as spiritual anchors. They hold proof of a legacy that connects you to a line of rulers and spiritual leaders who understood that their power wasn't meant for dominance, but for transformation. The irony is that their attempts to suppress this knowledge only amplified its significance. What they kept locked away in private collections or encoded in obscure manuscripts now serves as evidence, whispering to your spirit that you were never meant to remain in the shadows. As the truth surfaces, you begin to see how every coincidence, every so-called anomaly, was leading you to this realization. Then comes the moment when you truly embrace this truth. It's not just about seeing the signs. It's about owning them. There's no more denying that you are part of something extraordinary. This realization can feel daunting, even overwhelming. It's tempting to hold back, to let doubt creep in. But as you move deeper into this understanding, you come to see that fear has no place here. You realize that you've been given a gift, the gift of remembering. With that comes the responsibility to honor your lineage and the mission it carries. This is no longer just a story about the past. It's a call to action in the present. Embracing this truth isn't about seeking power or prestige. It's about stepping into the fullness of your purpose, using your light to illuminate the path for others. With the truth now clear, you feel empowered to move forward. The evidence that once seemed hidden is now an integral part of your identity. It's time to let go of the self-doubt, the confusion, and the hesitation. You have the knowledge, the insight, and the strength to forge a new path. This is your moment to take ownership of who you are and to live fully aligned with your purpose. As you do so, you'll inspire others to find their own truth. You'll become a beacon for those who are still searching, guiding them with the certainty that comes from knowing where you come from and where you're headed. This is the next step, to live each day as a reflection of the truth you've uncovered, knowing that you're not only connected to royalty, but that you carry the spirit of transformation and renewal within you. As we conclude, remember that the proof you sought was never truly hidden. It was always there, woven into your experiences, your instincts, and your spirit. What they tried to erase has only made you stronger, more certain of your path. This is the time to rise above their attempts to control the narrative. The hidden proofs have emerged, and with them, your true identity. Comment Royal Connection if this message resonates with you. Now is the time to step forward with confidence, knowing that the legacy you carry isn't just history, it's destiny. Why they never wanted you to know the truth. In your heart, you've always felt a subtle pull towards something more, something greater than the everyday routine you've been told is all there is. And yet, you've also felt the weight of confusion, of isolation, of not quite fitting into the picture the world has painted for you. That's because they never wanted you to know the truth. The powerful systems that structure society were not designed to uplift individuals like you. They were designed to keep you compliant, to make you doubt yourself and your connection to the divine. But here you are, questioning, seeking, sensing that there is something just beneath the surface. That feeling, that restlessness, is not a mistake. It's the whisper of truth breaking through. They never wanted you to see it, but now you can't unsee it. You were meant for more, and no amount of lies can hide that forever. You've faced challenges that others seem to glide past. While many follow the flow of the status quo, you've encountered roadblocks, harsh judgments, and unexpected detours. Each one felt personal, as though the world itself was conspiring against you. In a way, it was not because you are destined to fail, but because your success would shatter the carefully constructed facade. They created a narrative that made you feel small, unworthy, or insignificant. The constant push to conform, the pressure to quiet your intuition, the noise that drowns out your inner voice, all of it was by design. But deep down, you've known that their story isn't your story. That's why you've never fully surrendered to the machine. That's why you're still here, still searching for what they tried so hard to conceal. And the moment you start to see their efforts for what they really are, you begin to understand how much power you truly hold. At some point, something shifts. A quote from a lesser-known passage of Scripture might come to mind. Something like, You are not hidden from me. You are engraved on the palms of my hands." These words resonate, not just as comforting poetry, but as a declaration. The forces that tried to suppress your truth could never erase the mark left on your soul. What they intended for harm becomes a stepping stone to something greater. You begin to see the obstacles not as blocks, but as clues. Every doubt, every moment of rejection or fear was a test, a piece of the divine puzzle. As the pieces come together, the picture changes. What once seemed like chaos now feels intentional. You were never meant to fail. You were meant to wake up. And now that you are, the turning point becomes undeniable. The truth they tried to bury is becoming impossible to ignore. It's in the small, subtle changes that you first notice the transformation. The coincidences that seem too perfect. The memories that resurface when you need them most. The way certain words or events seem to align, as though the universe itself is orchestrating your journey. You begin to trust your intuition more. You sense that the universe is communicating with you, urging you to step forward. Their attempts to keep you distracted, to make you doubt your instincts, no longer work as they once did. Instead, each synchronicity becomes a sign. The subtle shifts in your perception lead to undeniable breakthroughs. You start to realize that the timing was never random. It was always leading you here, to this moment of recognition. And as the signs become clearer, so does your resolve. You are not who they said you were. You are far more. This is the part they can't control. The divine intervention that works behind the scenes, moving the pieces into place in ways they never anticipated. No matter how many layers of falsehood they added, no matter how many distractions they threw in your path, they couldn't stop the unseen forces that have been guiding you all along. When you think about the moments that changed everything, a chance meeting, an unexpected opportunity, a sudden clarity, they are too perfectly timed to be mere coincidence. It's as if the universe itself is conspiring for your success. And it is. The divine forces at work have always been stronger than the structures that sought to contain you. They never wanted you to know the truth, because once you do, their influence fades. Once you see how much has been orchestrated for your growth, you can no longer doubt your significance. Their plans never stood a chance against the power of the divine. As we conclude, let this knowledge settle deeply within you. They never wanted you to know, because they understood the power of a chosen one who truly knows their worth. But now you do, and because you do, everything changes. This is not just a story of struggle. It's a story of triumph. The truth they tried so hard to bury has found its way to you, and now it's yours to live and share. Comment, they can't hide this. If this resonates with you, you are not just a survivor of their deception. You are a beacon of truth, a reminder that no matter how much they try to conceal, the light always finds a way to shine. What happens next now that the truth is coming out? Everything you've been feeling, the restlessness, the urge to seek, the sense that something doesn't add up, has been leading to this moment. For so long, you've been carrying the weight of doubt, the nagging feeling that you've been kept in the dark, all the while sensing that there's more to your story. And now, that story is beginning to emerge. You're not alone in this realization. Many have felt the same stirring, the same pull toward truth. It's not just a personal awakening. It's a collective one. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were meant to lead, to uncover the truth, and to help others do the same. They know this, and that's why they worked so hard to keep you blindfolded. But the blindfold is slipping, and what comes next will change everything. Everything you've felt, everything you've wondered about, was leading you to this moment. The royal family knew who you were all along, but now you know too. This is your time to step into your true identity, to claim the power that has always been yours. You are not a pawn in their game. You are the game changer. Subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, and comment, I am chosen to let this message anchor in your soul. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. Step into the full light. The choice is yours. Take the next step. Chosen one. It's time to shine.